Hello everyone, and welcome to the Tome of Silver, the show where I randomly select a game from my collection, review it, and add it to an ever-growing ranking list. Both times we visited the Shantae series, there was always something holding the games back from being truly special. The first game was released on outdated hardware, and was still ironing out its gameplay structure, while Risky's Revenge was much improved, but was short, feeling like we only got half a game. In 2014, when given a third chance to make a great Shantae game, did Wayforward finally learn from their mistakes? The answer is a resounding hell yeah, as they've not only crafted a brilliant Metroidvania, but also defined the series' identity while providing what still remains the best entry in the series. Practice your yo-ho-ho, wiggle those hips, and let's turn the page to Shantae and the Pirate's Curse.
Shantae and the Pirate's Curse.
At the end of Risky's Revenge, Shantae lost her genie powers, and is now living as an ordinary human.
We're just normal men.
Even without her magic, she still serves as Sequin Land's guardian, this time defending the town from Ammo Baron. However, it's revealed that the mayor actually sold the town to Ammo Baron, and with his newfound authority, Shantae is fired from her job as guardian once again. Frustrated, Shantae returns home for a bath, only to be caught by the returning Risky Boots, who accuses Shantae of stealing her equipment and capturing her crew of Tinkerbats. After witnessing a Tinkerbat become corrupted by dark magic, Risky deduces that the Pirate Master, her former mentor who was sealed away long ago by the previous genies, has returned. The dark magic scattered around Sequin Land is actually Shantae's missing magic, but corrupted, and the Pirate Master seeks to obtain it so he may revive himself. With no other choice, Shantae and Risky form an unlikely alliance to sail to various islands, secure all the dark magic before the Pirate Master does, and save Sequin Land from destruction, all while trying to find a way to reclaim Scuttletown from Ammo Baron's clutches. Pirate's Curse places greater emphasis on its story than the previous games, further fleshing out its world and lore, while also defining its cast's personalities. The writing here is top-notch. I've commented before on how funny Shantae's writing is, but Pirate's Curse takes it to the next level. Jokes fly at the player a mile a minute, and for every one that misses, there are one or two just a moment later that had me grinning like an idiot. Every line of dialogue from Squid Baron in particular had me in stitches. It's lighthearted and fun as hell, making for a simple yet memorable story. The visuals build on the art style of Risky's Revenge, but feel even more expressive and lively than before. Shantae is an upgraded design, now sporting a small black vest that I really dig. Everything is as detailed and colorful as before, which is perfect. The artwork for the cover and character portraits is by Makoto Yabe, and it's my favorite of the many art styles the series has had over the years. It leans more towards an anime aesthetic, which will continue to influence the series going forward, and features the most realistically proportioned characters of all the games, though obviously still exaggerated. It also incorporates more fan service if you're into that sort of thing, evident in the character designs, poses, and especially the princess outfit Shantae is made to wear during the Tan Line Temple stage. Jeez Louise. Jake Kaufman is back once again behind the game's soundtrack, and as always, the man knocked it out of the park. The OST is catchy, memorable, and just so darn easy to bop your head to. It's everything it needs to be. Jake just doesn't miss when it comes to the music. As before, Shantae is a Metroidvania, albeit structured a bit differently this time around. Rather than a single, interconnected world, the adventure is divided into separate islands, each with its own theme and items to obtain. If you played the previous games, you'll feel right at home jumping back into Shantae's slippers. She can whip her hair to defeat enemies, collect heart squids around the world to boost her health, and obtain gems to purchase upgrades and items. Since Shantae no longer has her powers, abilities that were once magic upgrades are now just regular items. They no longer require a magic meter to maintain, but instead have limited uses before you'll need to repurchase more. It's a clever change to match the story, even if it wasn't something they needed to do. Speaking of Shantae becoming human, you may be wondering how she performs her iconic animal dances and transformations without her magic. Well, she can't. Yeah, Shantae's core mechanic is completely absent in this game. Instead, Shantae's main upgrades come in the form of Risky's various pirate equipment scattered around the islands. These include a pistol for long-range attacks, a large hat for gliding, a cannon for double jumping, and more. Honestly, the pirate equipment is far better than Shantae's transformations ever were, all for one simple reason: they're snappier. With the animal transformations, you constantly need to stop, perform the dance, and hit the corresponding button to transform. And the stop-and-go nature of the transformations slowed down the gameplay. The pirate gear has no such issues, more often than not being assigned to a single button. This makes the moment-to-moment gameplay of Pirate's Curse both faster and smoother than the previous games, making for the best overall feel the games have had yet. The increased speed is greatly welcomed, since there are no longer any fast travel points between locations, which are sorely missed. Without them, backtracking between various islands can become tedious, especially if you're lost and unsure of where you're supposed to be going. Otherwise, I liked the divided islands instead of the large interconnected world, because it gives the designers more freedom to make level design more focused, and each island felt distinct from the others. It also allows for better designed platforming and unique challenges, such as dodging attacks while saving Roddy Tops, or needing to stealth around the Tan Line Palace. While some of these challenges go on a bit too long, looking at you, Tan Line Palace, they add a nice variety to spice up the formula every now and again, and are welcome inclusions. One gripe I have is the constantly respawning enemies. Enemies respawn every time you change screens, and with the amount of backtracking you need to do, this becomes a hassle. Either because you're slowing down to fight all the enemies again, or simply trying to avoid them while hoping you don't get hit with too many pot shots. Thankfully, enemies occasionally drop food items you can keep in your inventory and use when you're getting weak. You'd think the number of food items you can acquire would make the game too easy, since you have a constant stream of healing supplies, and for the early game, you'd be right. You get a lot of healing items, which makes staying alive a breeze. And the boss fights especially go down far too quickly to ever pose a meaningful threat. But as the game reaches its second half, enemies become tougher and hit harder, and by that point, I found the game's challenge to be fair, not too easy and not too hard. Similarly, the dungeons didn't impress me much at first, feeling like they ended just as soon as they began. They get longer and more interesting with each new island, and a real standout is the Village of Lost Souls, which is the perfect blend of interesting navigation and even some fascinating story implications. It was great. The average playthrough of Pirate's Curse will take anywhere from around 8 to 10 hours, basically double the size of Risky's Revenge, so you definitely won't be feeling like you only got half a game, as I found it to be the perfect length for this kind of adventure. And just as before, the game comes with a fair bit of additional content for extra value. There's aiming for 100% by exploring Sequin Land for all the hidden heart squids and corrupted Tinkerbats, the latter of which even changes the difficulty of the final boss if you manage to collect them all. You're also timed on how fast you complete the game, with the encouragement to replay and do speedruns, which are no doubt even more fun to do with the pirate gear. Lastly, after completing the game for the first time, you unlock Pirate Mode, which is the same game as before, except you have all the pirate gear unlocked from the get-go, letting you tackle the adventure faster and in brand new ways. I'll admit, I didn't find Pirate Mode a compelling extra mode, and I personally prefer the challenge of the Magic Mode from Risky's Revenge, which offered doubling your magic but greatly reducing defense. I found that it offered a new way to play Shantae while still increasing the difficulty by reducing defense, whereas Pirate Mode basically only makes the game easier. Still, an extra mode is welcome regardless, and I don't doubt speedrunners much prefer Pirate Mode to Magic Mode. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse is where the Shantae series really began to define itself, more clearly etching out its world and characters, tightening up its gameplay for better flow, and reducing some of the more aggravating parts of its Metroidvania structure. We did lose Shantae's iconic animal transformations for this title, but honestly, the replacement pirate gear is so much better that I didn't even miss the transformations for a second. Frankly, it'll be harder for the series to return to the transformations after this, because they nailed it so well with the pirate stuff. There are still some things to iron out, but Wayforward has truly realized Shantae's potential to create a fantastic Metroidvania, with a fun, refreshing sense of humor. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse will sail to the number 30 spot, passing Pokken Tournament, but losing out to Shinobi for the PlayStation 2. I reckon Pirate's Curse will remain the highest ranked Shantae game, but I'm open to my next revisit of the Shantae series to surprise me. As it stands though, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse is the best Shantae game, and I strongly recommend those interested in the series to give it a try. And that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing to help me grow this channel. For those who've played the Shantae games, which do you prefer? The pirate equipment or the animal transformations? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear everyone's perspective. And don't forget to wait to the end of the video to see which game our wheel will select next. In the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and may we see each other again when we turn to the next chapter in the Tome of Silver.